As I sit here reflecting, I can't help but think about how far we've come together. If you're new to this podcast, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you've been a part of this journey since the beginning, thank you for still being here, for choosing to grow alongside me. One of the things I've learned about compassion is that it's not just a principle, it's a living practice. And living practices don't get old. They meet us in every season of life with fresh meaning. That's why today I want to revisit a conversation that continues to inspire me. And when I first shared it, it resonated so deeply. And even now, it speaks with the same power because compassion doesn't belong to the past, it belongs to the present moment. So join me as we step back into this earlier conversation, not as something finished, but as something alive, still unfolding, still relevant, still teaching us how to live with more kindness, more justice, more connection. Let's get into it.
You're tuned in to Compassionate Las Vegas, the podcast, where compassion inspires action. Together, we're building a world centered in understanding, empathy, and courageous action, starting right here in the heart of Southern Nevada. We're taking the principle of do unto others as you would have them do unto you to heart. Now, let's welcome a man committed to fostering compassion in every corner of our city, a beacon of compassion in Las Vegas, your host, Will Rucker.
And I'd like to welcome our very special guest all the way from Mexico, Cristina Gonzalez. Hello.
Thank you, Will. Hello.
All right, you got to help me. Did I get that pronunciation right?
Perfect. Yes.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you again for joining the podcast. And I just really want to hear from you about your story, about how you got into this work of compassion, what's happening for your city, for your country, for your people, and whatever else comes to mind. This is very conversational.
Thank you, Will. First of all, thank you for inviting me to this podcast. And yes, well, I've been working as a social activist for 22 years here in Monterrey, Mexico. And several years ago, we started with two organizations. One that is like a volunteer organization that is serving to the community and inviting people to be a volunteer and make them go to different organizations. Right now, we have 22 years working on that, more than 9,000 volunteers working. So it's been a very beautiful work. We also, for them, invite them to have some courses every month so they can be, growing as leaders in the communities. So this is one of the work we do here in Monterrey. And then later, we started with Encuentro Mundial de Valores. This is an event, as another organization that makes an event once a year, and we invite people from leaders from all over the world. We have been having here more than 10 Nobel Prizes, and we have invited ex-presidents and beautiful people talking about consciousness, about how values can be spread and exercise in different models of works. So we have now, this is going to be the 14th year that we work this event. And I think 6 years ago, we invite Charter for Compassion to come to Monterrey to this event. And when we hear, when they were talking about the work that they were doing in different cities, it really moved my heart. And I said, we need Charter for Compassion here in Monterrey. We need to certify cities, to certify universities, to go into business and invite them to be certified and work together as an alliance, So we started with that work about 6 years ago. And we are very happy today because we have certified 17 cities here in our state. 10 universities are working with us. We have ambassadors in media that talk with compassion several times in a month. So we've been working hard, and in a beautiful way, we have created like an alliance to work together the town, the city, the universities, the business. So this has been happening for the last 6 years, and we are really very happy to be part of this movement, this international movement now.
To our audience, I told you were going to be inspired. I'm sitting here with just excitement and goosebumps because hearing just first of all, the length of time that you've been doing this, but then the way that you've been able to infiltrate, I'll say, all of these different sectors where you've got the education sector, you've got the government, you've got people, you've got leadership. That's fantastic. You mentioned you've been doing or been a social activist for 22 years. That's quite a lengthy time. So I'm sure you've learned a thing or two. But what I want to get to is year one. What brought you to being a social activist? And what does that mean for you?
Yes. Well, I think the education is the base of everything. I had, an aunt in the family that were a nun. So she took us to vulnerable places where we can share our toys when we were little, and then to make some kind of parties or something to get money and to get things to go to the communities and give them. So I think education is a big part of what you are going to be doing later. And when you go to school, and you have also the possibility to do something for everyone around, I think that lives in your heart. You see, that later is going to be showing you what to do. I had a business with my husband for almost 30 years. So I also had to deal with family things with the people that work with us. They were like 300 employees, and I saw how they were trying to get to life, and get everything they needed. So that made me leave the business and start going into these social activist movements, so we can do something for those people that were needing more education, more probably high level of consciousness, and so we could help, a little bit more. So that's something that were in my heart from since I was little. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Very, very beautiful. That education piece, that upbringing, but also just kind of what was given to you when you entered the world. And I love that you bring in the consciousness perspective, because that's something that I try to do. I really try to bring awareness and consciousness into every sphere and elevate that to a higher level meaning a broader view where people can see more perspectives and have a better understanding of how things are working. With this work that you've created, so the business, the compassionate Monterrey, and now that spread and spread and spread, what are you most proud of?
Well, I don't know if I'm proud. I'm really thinking that we need to do more, that we need to involve more organizations, more people to lead these social organizations, and to work together, as Charter is doing internationally. I mean, work together with some programs, some projects that could help more in this moment that we are needing a lot of social, not only social, but that psychosocial educational work that could lead to the people in this moment to sensitize, that we are in a changing world that needs to have another way to see the life, and going to see the work that we are doing.
Yeah. One of the challenges that we face is this perspective, a judgmental perspective of people who are different. And so in Las Vegas, in Nevada, we have a very high Latino, Hispanic population. And there's still a sentiment where immigration can be kind of a hot button issue. And then people are labeled and mislabeled. You get things like they're uneducated, they're lazy, they're stealing our jobs, things of that nature. And when I hear people say those type of things, what I hear underneath is fear and a need of self-preservation. How does that impact you and the people that you know when those kind of words are used to describe you?
Well, actually, we have this problem here also in Monterrey. I mean, problem because we are concerned of how to help, those people that are coming from the south of Mexico, passing through Mexico and going to the United States. But they most of them right now are staying here in town. So all the social organizations are looking at for some ways to work with them to make them get this social, emotional, and education because they all are hurt. They are living extreme situations. So I don't feel right, when I see all those people there in the United States suffering as they are doing it here. So what we do here is in the volunteer work, we are making like chains of volunteers to work with them to bring them what they need until they fix their papers or what they have decided. So this is a big work, for humanity right now, because this is something that is happening globally.
I usually ask questions that I have a good idea of the answer to, but I must admit, I was moved by what you just said. And it's one of those things where that common humanity just, it screamed from the screen to me. When you said we have that concern too, we have these issues too. I wish more people could hear that. And I think that builds bonds of unity when you understand, guess what? We really are all dealing with very, very similar things.
And this is something that, ONU or some good, very high organizations have to have some answers for that, because things are getting difficult with these environmental problems. Water is such a problem in some countries, and that's why people is moving to poverty, water, these environmental problems, and we have to have some answers for that internationally, and start looking together for how to resolve these problems. Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You do work with compassionate integrity training, and that is such a powerful, powerful program. It's 10 sessions that walk you through 3 sets of skills where you really become aware of the instrument of compassion. I like to compare it to an instrument because it's a skill. It's something that you can improve and become more proficient in. We've been doing compassionate integrity training in Las Vegas for, I would say, at least 4 years. I took my training initially 4 years ago and then was certified as a facilitator. But we haven't been able to get the number of individuals involved that we would like. In your space, you have reached literally thousands. Tell us how you did it.
Yes, of course. Well, I also took the course with Life University in San Antonio. And when we saw the content of that, I say, I have to take it to Monterrey, to Mexico, So when I heard that it was already as a self-directed and digital in a digital matter, we asked them to to translate that in Spanish. And we create a group of people with different associations as human value centers that had an app to go with that. Conscious Performance is in Germany and is an organization that make investigations of the content and how people is, getting involved in that course. So we decided to make this group. We started working. We at the beginning of last year, we invite some of our compassionate universities, cities, business to get this course. This course, I know that the UNESCO have been saying that is one of the best socio-emotional courses. So I try to sell it in a very low price, and make this license possible to all the city. And yes, we had 16,000 people taking the course last year with a beautiful results in the investigations. From the 10 abilities, 8 were better results in each person. So it was a beautiful way to bring it to Mexico, to bring it to. We did this in jails with people. We also took it to security government, to the security department in Monterrey, and they gave that to policemen. So it was beautiful, and I'm still working on that. We are still working on that with another people, the universities that took 5,000, 2,000. Now they want to do it, nationally. So we are happy with that because we know the results are beautiful. Yes.
With your results, this transformation that's occurring within your communities, take just a moment, 30 seconds or so, to talk to the president of UNLV, our local university, and tell him exactly why he should invest in this program for his college campus.
Okay, well, we are having a moment right now with all this pandemic and with what we are living, that people need some abilities and some tools to live this possibility, to pass this possibility, this situation of depression of some of them, and very anxiety youth people. So this course has the abilities and have the resources that could help these people to feel better, to behave better, and probably to go ahead and make a movement as an activist or to try to do something for someone else. So I invite you to bring these possibilities to your people in the universities. Even teachers could need this possibility too.
Thank you. I think that I'm going to send it to him and say, listen to this. It's such an incredible experience. It did change my life going through it. And I've delivered the course several times now. And every time I go deeper, every time it transforms a new part of me. Every single time I get a new skill and I'm reminded of something, and it helps to allow me to feel more peaceful and to be more compassionate to those that otherwise I'm like, you people are driving me batty. It helps with all of that. And I can only imagine if we had 16,000 people in Las Vegas with these skills, the change in our community. we are a tourism mecca. We're a huge tourist town. And so a lot of our well-being is based on making others happy. And that can be very, very difficult. So being able to ground and take a moment to use resources and do the resourcing in difficult situations, I think would really just improve our quality of life overall here. So that's why I wanted to touch on the CIT.
I'm very grateful with Charter for Compassion because we also brought to Mexico Think Equal. Think Equal is another project for kids until the 6 years. And neuroscience has said if they don't install some competitions before the 6th year, they have to live experience in order to install it. And this project of Think Equal has through some stories, the possibility of installing those competencies in your brain. So we have been working with that. 5,000 kids took it last year. And it is a beautiful experience for teachers and also for little kids and their family that they are bringing this possibility to their houses. And they are telling their parents, please breathe before you breathe again. So there are several social emotional projects in Charter for Compassion that could lead us to be more sensitized of what we have to do in this world.
Yeah, Think Equal is phenomenal. I really want to get that in the community as well. But something you just mentioned, I don't think I realized. If you're saying that if these competencies aren't taught before someone is in the 6th grade, then the only way to really get that into them is to instill it by experience?
Yes. This is already being said by the neuroscience that work with this program, with Think Equal program. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I had a pastor who would tell me there's 2 ways to learn. You can learn from someone teaching you, or you can learn by the school of 2x4, meaning bumping your head against it, the pain of having to deal with it yourself. So I want to save everyone the experience of having to deal with this and instill it through education versus experience. And experience, of course, to be clear, has value, but the experience that you can have can be so much greater if you already have these competencies when you start.
Of course. And that's the Charter has another programs, very interesting. We participate in Golden Rule Day. We also work some of the environmental work that we are doing together globally, actually with companies, compassionate cities, and NGOs. We planted 35,000 trees 2 years ago before the pandemic. So there are a lot of possibilities, that you can go into this social transformation through Charter and through compassion, working through compassion.
Beautiful. One other area that I want to highlight that you've done amazing work in is restorative justice. And that's something we are just burgeoning on here in Las Vegas, but it's something we have an appetite and a hunger for. Can you share a bit about your restorative justice work?
Well, actually, we have worked for women, we have a workshop that we have been doing together with different cities, with their women department, because there is a lot of hurt women around. So we have a workshop where we present some testimonies and how people can get out of their problems as women. And we install there several stands where we invite them to go and have psychological possibilities of work with someone, or if you need a job, especially to get out of the situation that you are, or if you need to learn some abilities in order to work later. So this workshop has been very good taken for women or hurt women. So that's the way we work a little bit with social justice around town.
I see. That's great. And why women?
Well, because I don't know in other countries, but here in Mexico, it's been, like postponed the way they interrelated in business, or so women has been like left, and hurt. There are a lot of violence for women around. So this is something we have to be working all the time around. Yes.
I see. I'm interested in that, in the sense that as an African American, I have one lens of injustice. And so I feel I'm able to relate to some of the challenges and barriers women face, because women historically have been oppressed or minimized and not given full opportunities, even with things as fundamental as education. So expanding that lens of restorative justice to just social justice and beginning to work with women, I think is critical and so valuable. So as a female leader yourself, have you faced challenges being heard because of your gender?
Well, actually, not in that way, but I was in business once, and I really felt in some places where the men were privileged in some areas, but I haven't feel that, but I have empathized with the people that is having those problems. Yes.
Yeah. And that's incredible to hear. It's amazing, because I'm not surprised by that one, because you just have this presence that commands respect and attention. And you have a warmth about you that's so inviting that I think it's disarming for someone that may have even initially perhaps treated you differently to change that approach. So thank you for sharing that. I want to change our direction for just a bit here and just talk about compassion. I want to hear how you personally define compassion.
Well, that's feeling, that you have when you see someone suffering, you would like to be there, to help those possibilities. To help work it out. So this is a feeling that is inner in your heart, And when you see some situations that are there hurting others, well, you want to do something for them. That's my way to think that compassion could help, or that compassion works. This is a sensitized heart that is feeling for other and trying to do something to help.
A sensitized heart, that's so powerful. Why should people invest in developing this skill of compassion?
Well, I do feel that this is the answer for what is happening in the world, Compassion is inner in the heart of everyone, in there, but sometimes the way you were raised and the problems you had is already covered. But in some way, when you go deep inside the heart of each one, they all want to do something for someone that is suffering, So what we have to do is just help them find that inner space where life or sense of life, the sense of life is, We are here not to be alone. We are here to work and give that heart, to everyone. So this is a transforming suffering, when you are doing it together. So the world needs now our unity and our sensitized heart in order to resolve together as oneness these problems that we are living right now.
Thank you. You mentioned Think Equal. We talked a bit about compassionate integrity training. For someone that's watching or listening to the podcast today that wants to start engaging in compassionate practice right away because they're just so excited by this, what are 2 or 3 things you would tell them to start with before they even get to the other trainings?
Well, I think I will invite them to go into it and to reach those abilities in order to grow, in order to see the world different, in order to feel that you are here for a reason. So that would be my invitation. I mean, if you feel that there is no sense in your life, so compassion is the way. Compassion is the path.
Is there something that they can do right now to help to instill more compassion, or maybe to show compassion to their family or their neighbors or their coworkers?
Well, there's a lot of things to do, like, first of all, to hear them, to listen to them, to listen to their hearts, to their needs, and to try to be with them. To try to help answer the situations they are living in this moment. So compassion is like a moment to grow together, and to resolve together some of the situations that you are living, And it's a tool. It's a tool for living. It's a tool for a sense of life. It's a tool for growing and getting more consciousness of what you are here for, what is your mission, what to do with your life. Yes.
Those 2 things, I think, are the foundations of everything else. Listening, being able to hear someone's heart, as you said, and then also being present with them. If we mastered those 2 things, or just not even mastered them, if we just tried to get close to starting that process, I think the world would be a very different place. It's incredible. I do an exercise with our Jameson Fellows where they have to sit and listen to others help them, but they can't respond. They can't clarify. They have to sit there for 8 minutes and just hear. And the result is the same every time. That was so powerful to actually listen and just listen, not listen to respond, but truly listen to understand and hear. And so I thank you for giving that gift to our audience and sharing that very powerful practice.
Yes, we have a radio program once a week here, and we invite people also, and we invite the public to listen, but listen from the heart, what he has to say. Most of the people that we invite are social activists or are working in an NGO or doing some special work in universities. So this is, we invite them to open the heart and listen, open the mind and listen, because something is there for them. Something can learn from them and share later. So this is another of the work that we do here in Compassionate Monterrey.
Beautiful. in our last few moments together, I just want to invite you to share a story or a thought that keeps you going when the work gets difficult. You are doing incredible work and you're having fantastic success, but that doesn't mean it's easy. That doesn't mean that there aren't times where it becomes hard for you. So share something that keeps you inspired.
Well, I cannot do it by myself. Something that I have learned through all those 22 years that I've been working as a social activist is we have to go together with a group. You know, when you are aligned, the mission, you work together as a circle of trust, and you feel that the other is helping you, to go with your mission and with their mission, things are easier, and you got the what you are trying to do, you got it faster, So with silence, with moments of silence with the group, and then start the work every day, I think we can reach some of the objectives of that our work is trying to do here in Monterrey and also in different parts of Mexico, because Think Equal is in 7 states right now. The CIT is moving to another states also, this program. And the Encuentro Mundial de Valores that we work every year is being seen in, once we had 116 countries in line. We had from 4,000 to 7,000 participants each year. So it's a lot of commitment, of the group to bring all those possibilities in the best way to the people and the town and the country. So I think not to work alone, to work together in groups is with the mind and the heart very well clear, so it would take you to good results.
The visual that you painted for me is a flock of birds flying in that V shape, and how that front bird is really creating a smooth pathway for those that follow behind, and they're able to rotate when they tire. So wow. you're showing us Go Together. That's one of my favorite books by Shola Richardson. Go together, do it together. The spirit of Ubuntu. I am because we are. And that's what I just heard from you. So again, I'm just so grateful that you have taken time to join our podcast and share from your heart the work that you are involved in as a social activist and the fruit of your labor that is happening all around your country and how that continues to ripple throughout the world. So I just wanted to say thank you again for that. Is there anything else you want to share with the podcast audience as we close?
Well, I would like just to invite them, whoever is hearing this podcast, to go ahead and try to get into these compassionate movements around the world, because we need you. We need your work, your heart, your intelligence, your mind, in order to get a better world going on and reaching some solidarity and some big love around. So that's my invitation today.
Revisiting that moment is like being reminded of a truth I already knew, but needed to hear again. And that's the gift of compassion. Compassion invites us forward every single day. So as you leave this episode, I hope you'll take a breath, notice where compassion is calling you right now, and step toward it. Not someday, today. This is your host, Will Rucker. Thank you for joining me on Compassionate Las Vegas. Together, we're building a community of compassion. showing that it's more than an aspiration. It's a practice that transforms culture and shapes the legacy we leave. If today's episode inspired you, I'd love for you to like and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your people. Every time you do, you help this community grow and you bring more compassion into our world. Until next time, remember to start with heart and live with clarity, lead with compassion. And as I always remind you, you are not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop, and what you do matters. So live compassionately.
Compassionate Las Vegas.